In this video, I want to give you a case study of a company that I work with, of how they changed their marketing over time.
This video is brought to you by EpiPies Academy.
And they literally went through like 3 different name changes. They started out, as you see, Geek Talk. They started out so nerdy, like 3.3 was like EE, so Geek Talk. Then they became Hakka Labs. Then they became something called the Data Console AI. Let me tell you all about it. So originally it started around 2012, maybe a little earlier, just as tech videos, content for engineers. And the first name was just Geek Talk because it was all just talk and chat about it. And then they started putting on New York and San Francisco tech meetups. They got speakers who were very senior engineers who worked on very interesting technical projects, usually like in AI or big data or mobile apps or databases or something cool and cutting edge. And then they took that event content and they recorded the videos. They put those videos on YouTube. They had somebody transcribe those videos. They made blog posts out of it. Then they took the audio, they took that and made a podcast out of it. Then they got everybody who consumed that content to sign up for their email list. And what they did is they facilitated an online and offline community of software engineers, and software engineers, good software engineers who are working on cutting edge things. They're extremely lucrative, coveted audience. So instead of just content, they became Hakka Labs, which is a recruiting firm, because they were able to connect employers with some of the best software engineers, which is lucrative. So that went on for a while, but the events part of the business grew more than anything else, because even though the marketing was going well and they were able to get really well known in their niche in that engineer community, the recruiting part of the business wasn't that easy to sell because it's extremely competitive. So they actually started growing the events business, and they raised money and they became Data Console AI, which is actually conferences for big data, which is a pretty lucrative business. This is essentially that website right now. You see they have like dates of upcoming events in all over the world: Barcelona, New York, San Francisco, Singapore. Really pretty awesome, actually. What they did right is they used a lot of content that was created by expert speakers they invited, and that incredibly amazing high quality content gave them this authority and recognition and respect among the peers of the industry. And as they grew in authority, they started to become a big enough name that could put on conferences, because almost no one can put on a conference. That's a tremendous undertaking and extremely hard. So they only were able to do that through that long-term, multi-year branding and content and facilitating the software engineer community. So that's how these guys did their marketing over time, and that's what it evolved to.